Okay. I am very honored to be sitting next to the genius behind E.W.S pedals and raw vintage pickups, Mr. Yasu Abe, who designed the pedals and the pickups.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. And he's sitting next to Greg Back, who I've been talking about the whole time, maker of these guitars, and a big fan of the Xotic E.W.S vintage, raw vintage products. We're going to talk a little bit about the specs of the pickups first, which we've been experimenting with different, or I haven't. I can't do anything. I tried to solder a pickup in and totally messed it up, so that's his department. But no, Greg's been experimenting with different value magnets, and take it away, Greg Back.
So I guess where it started was Toshio sent me a little email about the pickup, and I said I'd be interested, and next thing I knew I had a prototype. So we put in this guitar first, just a single pickup guitar. I was experimenting with it, liking what I was hearing, and brought it over to Michael and said, check this out. Didn't even tell him what it was. And he called me back. I think the first thing that I knew it really was going the right way was he said it was the first humbucker that he actually could use a compressor with. And I've known that, you know, most people, it's always a Strat type pickup. You know, you get a humbucker, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So that was like, okay, this is definitely going the right way. There was a lot of clarity, and it worked just as one single pickup. You know, we didn't, it's great to have this pickup here, but we didn't miss it at the beginning. You actually used it on a movie or something. Yeah,
right away,
sessions.
yeah.
So obviously, you know, he was using it on this guitar, and you know where that's going. It ended up on that guitar. So, and I had to, you know, call Toshio and say, I need another one.
Yeah.
So the other part was then it expanded to, hey, we could, you know, probably make an F-Space, which would be really nice.
And it actually worked with the Gibson Space one, but the F-Spaced is just that much, you know, it's right under the string, so it seems to be fuller.
It's a little fuller too, because you have, they wired it, they wound it the same way, but what I knew was there's a little more copper because there's a little more of a pickup there. So when I put it in, I heard it right away. And the other thing that Michael and I always do is we're always A-B'ing on one particular guitar, kind of through the same amp, recording stuff, and then we really hear what it's like and then move on to something else.
Yeah. That's the good thing about all the stuff I've been able to try out. I get something, and a lot of the time I'm working on a song that day, and I'll use it right away. And if it works in the track and it works on the recording, it's an instant winner with me. It's not like a guy that has to wait till his next gig. I mean, even though I do live gigs, and that's a different sort of criteria that I go for that. But my first test that I have to pass is, am I going to use it over my other pickups? Am I going to use it over my other guitars? And when it passes that, when I'm trying to find the right guitar for a part that I'm recording, and it wins in that you know instance, it's just, I immediately love it, and I go, okay, for that kind of sound, I'm going to go to that pickup, or you know. But I wanted to ask you, was there a certain pickup from the past that you really liked when you were designing the humbucker that you based it on, or did you just come up with the original?
ハンバッカーもオリジナルの PAF を元にしています。
PAF?
Right.
Did you do anything different? Put in your own special sauce?
まずコイルの巻き方を、僕独自のものに、緩すぎてもダメですし、強すぎても。
That's another one of those factors that I never knew it had such a big part of the sound of a pickup. And I think it was Guitar Player magazine last month had a little article about pickups and the windings, and how the tightness or the scatter wound or you know has such a difference in tone. And I'm like, man, I never thought of that. I thought it was the amount of windings that was the only factor. But you know,
コイルがこう巻かれていくときに均一にこうガーッとこうレイヤーがされていくんじゃなくて、こういうふうに独自のレイヤーで巻くようにしてます。
How much experimentation did he need to go through to come up with that pickup final version?
僕はもうこのタイプのピックアップはもう8年ぐらい作ってます。
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right out of the box, the bridge pickup was perfect. I mean, it was like we looked
now,
at each
is
other.
it just one actual model as far as the strength of the pickup and stuff, that when someone gets a raw vintage humbucker bridge pickup, say, is it all the same? Are they all the same?
Yes.
That's great.
Right.
That's great, because they get so many different, hotter and stuff, and you're not sure what you're getting. But all the stuff I've been playing today is the one the same as if when you can go out and buy a raw vintage humbucker, they're all the same. So, like I showed today, I tried them in a few different guitars, and it's not the kind of pickup that only sounds good in one guitar, like a Les Paul or something. I found that it sounds good in Strat type guitars and more of a Les Paul kind of thing. And
yeah, it's a real. You really hear the voice of the guitar.
Right.
What I know when we went through different guitars, we'd put the same one in here versus there, would have a little more of the character of this type of wood. Right.
Because I found a lot of rock players, especially younger kids, they use too hot of a pickup. And you can get that from your pedals. You can get plenty of boost and overdrive. But the pickup, if it isn't, clean enough and bright enough like these pickups, it just turns to mud, And maybe if you're going through a triple rectifier with full distortion, you don't know the difference. But you get so much more clarity and personality when the pickup is... These are really strong. I was going to say is a little weaker. But these are actually as loud as like more of a distortion pickup, but it stays cleaner, which whatever trick he did to do that, I think it's pretty cool.
僕が結構いつも心がけてるのはピックアップを作るときにピックアップのキャラクターが強く出過ぎないように、でなおかつ乗せるギターの個性が出るようにっていうのと、あと指先のタッチの強弱でピックアップのバランスもちゃんとそれに反応するように、リニアに反応するようにするように心がける。
That's what I liked about it right away. It's like literally like a microphone.
Yeah. Well, I think he really succeeded in doing that.
Yeah,
like I was saying before when I was demonstrating it, they do have a real nice touch sensitivity, whether it's the single coil or humbucker. Because if you play lighter, it should clean up without even turning your volume down. Yeah.
Yeah,
You did good.
Yeah, excellent job.
Yeah.